Okay, so get this.
CEO needs police protection.
Not just for herself,
But for her young kids, too.
just to escape the wrath of...
Football fans.
Yeah, you heard that right.
Today's deep dive.
It takes us into AS Roma.
And the dramatic exit of their CEO, Lina Souloukou.
And this wasn't your average resignation.
Not even close.
We're talking fan protests,
Accusations.
a level of intensity that's hard to imagine.
Even in the passionate world of Italian football.
So strap in,
Because we're about to unpack exactly what went down.
and what it all means for one of Italy's most beloved clubs.
You know, when I saw those headlines about Souloukou needing police protection,
It really drove home the point that...
this is about more than just disagreements over strategy.
or even a few bad results on the pitch.
This was personal.
And it speaks to a level of anger and disillusionment.
Among the fan base that goes way beyond the usual ups and downs of a season.
It's wild, right?
To understand how we got to police escorts and furious fans,
We need to rewind a bit.
it all started with a decision.
That would send shockwaves through the AS Roma faithful.
The sacking of club legend Daniele De Rossi from his role as manager.
And that's the spark that ignited the inferno, so to speak.
You see, De Rossi isn't just some ex-player turned manager.
He embodies the heart and soul of AS Roma.
This is a man who bled for the Giallorossi colors for over 2 decades on the pitch.
A true Roman warrior.
Who wore the captain's armband with pride and passion.
He's the kind of player who inspires murals and tattoos, right?
And not just your average club legend.
Exactly. To many fans, he was AS Roma.
Representing a gritty determination.
And unwavering loyalty that resonated deeply with their identity.
So when he took the reins as manager,
It felt like a fairy tale unfolding.
the local hero coming home to restore the club to its former glory.
And then boom, he's gone.
And I bet those fans who had De Rossi's Roma banners hanging from their balconies were not happy.
Not happy is an understatement.
We're talking banners hung outside the club's training ground.
Branding Souloukou as the evil of Rome.
Imagine the fury.
The sense of betrayal.
The feeling that someone had just messed with something sacred.
Wow, the evil of Rome.
They didn't hold back.
Talk about adding fuel to the fire.
But as if the De Rossi situation wasn't volatile enough,
Things were about to get even messier.
enter Paulo Dybala.
Another AS Roma star.
And a near transfer to Saudi Arabia.
That went about as smoothly as a bull in a china shop.
Yes, the Dybala debacle.
To grasp the magnitude of this,
You have to understand that Dybala wasn't just another player on a team sheet.
he was a symbol of hope.
A beacon of brilliance in a squad yearning for success.
He brought a touch of magic to the pitch.
The kind that gets fans on their feet and chanting your name.
So when a rumor started swirling about him potentially leaving for a team in Saudi Arabia,
I imagine the collective anxiety levels in Rome went through the roof.
absolutely.
It was like watching a slow-motion car crash.
The negotiations dragged on,
The rumors intensified.
and then just as suddenly as it began,
The deal collapsed.
Dybala stayed put.
But the
Souloukou bore the brunt of the blame for this very public and very messy, almost transfer.
You could say that again?
The fans saw it as incompetence
A lack of respect for the club.
and a willingness to sacrifice their heroes for a quick payday.
And honestly, it probably didn't do her any favors within the club's hierarchy either.
These sorts of high-profile blunders rarely inspire confidence in leadership.
So now you've got a fan base that's already on edge.
A club legend shown the door.
A star player almost shipped off to the desert.
And a CEO who's rapidly becoming public enemy number one.
You're painting quite the picture here.
And this is all before we even get to the police escorts.
Exactly.
It's a perfect storm of bad decisions
Those calculations,
and a level of fan passion that
while usually a source of strength for a club,
can quickly turn into a raging inferno when it feels like the heart and soul of the team is being disregarded.
it's honestly kind of hard to wrap your head around.
Like you're trying to run a football club 1 minute,
And the next, you're worried about
you know?
your children's safety.
Yeah,
It just goes to show how quickly things can get out of hand.
especially when you're talking about something
You know,
as emotionally charged as football.
right.
And it's not just some
Yeah,
faceless
yeah.
corporation.
Exactly.
This is AS Roma,
AS Roma, a club that's like
deeply intertwined with the city's identity.
with its history,
Mhm.
with its very soul.
Yeah,
So when fans feel like that identity is under attack,
that their club is being disrespected.
it's no surprise that the reaction is going to be so visceral.
So extreme.
So where do we even begin to unpack all of this?
Was this entire chain of events?
Simply a case of De Rossi's firing being the straw that broke the camel's back?
Or was Souloukou's position kind of...
Untenable from the start.
right.
with like a perfect storm of fan pressure.
And internal politics ultimately leading to her departure.
Yeah, it's probably a complex mix of factors.
I mean, while the De Rossi situation,
Undoubtedly created a powder keg atmosphere.
we can't discount the weight of those simmering fan frustrations
The botched Dybala deal.
and the immense pressure that comes with managing a club like AS Roma.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pressure cooker environment.
And in this case,
Seems the pressure valve just blew.
it makes you wonder, though,
Where do we draw the line?
between passion and acceptable behavior.
Right.
When does supporting your team cross over into something darker?
Something that puts people at risk.
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
There's no easy answer.
But it's a conversation that we need to be having.
And not just in the context of AS Roma.
But across the entire world of sports. Fan passion is an incredible force.
It's the lifeblood of any team.
But it needs to be channeled responsibly.
Absolutely.
Because at the end of the day,
No CEO should fear for their safety.
and no child should be caught in the crossfire of a football controversy.
Well said.
And as we've seen in this deep dive,
The consequences of ignoring that fundamental truth,
they can be severe.
this entire situation really throws a wrench into the gears, doesn't it?
It forces us to confront
It does.
some uncomfortable truths about the state of modern
The
football.
intensity, the pressure on those in charge.
And that fine line
Yeah,
between passion and something far more volatile.
absolutely.
So as we watch the AS Roma saga continue to unfold,
Let's all take a moment to consider that bigger picture.
what do you think is the right balance between passion and responsibility?
In the world of sports, it's a question worth pondering
And one we'll undoubtedly revisit.
as we continue our deep dives into this captivating
That sometimes chaotic world around us.